Hey, good Friday afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Friday's market wrap-up here at Top Gun Options. The tech wreck is over with, folks. It's been an interesting past couple of days. You know, everybody trying to blame this implosion here on a spike in interest rates, and they're wrong. Every February, I've been doing this for 30 years, folks, just about every February in the history of me trading and investing has been a shit show. You get a monster November, December Santa Claus rally. Wait for this, ignore this Wall Street bets rebellion that was squashed. And we just kept going up. Put this on your calendar. Take out your cell phone right now, put it on your calendar. Every February 15th, put get to cash, get long VIX, buy puts on the S&P 500. This happens. I was a 50 delta this year. I'm like, this ain't the past 30 years, Wiz. Be present. Namaste, right? You got the Fed who's saying we'll never leave you, and we have crazy Uncle Joe and the Democrats spending like drunken sailors with stimulus. So maybe we won't get a shit show. Bang! I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. As a matter of fact, this time last year was when I nailed it to the day that we would implode and keep going down. Now, I'm telling you for a fact, it's over with. How do I know? Well, look at me. I just bought the Qs. I just bought a ton of Qs right here, up about $1,000. Look at this. The Qs are the NASDAQ, kind of the tech NASDAQ. 1208, which is a couple minutes ago. 1208. Let's look at the chart. There's 1208 literally. That's when I bought the Qs, and a massive pop in the Qs. The tech wreck is over with. This was an opportunity to buy. This time last year, as we imploded, all the quote smart money, who are actually stupid money, told you to buy the dip, buy the dip. They told you to buy the dip all the way until March, when you would have been broke if you listened to any of the smart money. Hell, if you listened to Donald Trump, you would have been broke. I think on one of those massive 1,000 or 2,000 point down days, he's like, oh, this is the bottom. I'd jump in the stocks here. Next day, we went down another 1,000. The dude deleted the tweet like a coward. If you're going to say shit like that, own it. Like me today, owning the fact that I said most likely there'll be a February shit show, and I didn't have my sales prepared. When I was skiing in Aspen last week, and for the past couple weeks, I said what? I want to move to 80-20. I want to get an 80% cash and hold some good 20% names like Microsoft. Take a look at Microsoft today, just to rip your face off, rally off the lows here. Man, look at that. Right at 1208. There's 1208, folks. 1208. I said buy the Qs, get long, and in my investment group over here, I said what? All morning I've been like, get into Microsoft. Look at this. Yep. If you think we're good to go, look at the Microsoft bull put spread here, the best tech stock showing strength. I'm moving money around to do one. Isn't that fantastic? Woohoo! There we go. Goose got in, just went long Microsoft. Look at that. Boom. Good stuff. Now, but again, I want to follow my sword. You know, and when we debrief in the military, in a fighter squadron, or at Top Gun Options, you lead with the word I. I made a mistake that I thought this February would be different. If I had listened to me, shocker, I could have printed money, right? Now, I didn't do anything. I didn't remember it. You don't lose money on anything until you what? Until you close it, just like you don't make a profit on anything until you close it. So as we went down here, right around here, I actually bought another 1,000 shares of Microsoft, but then I kind of ran out of dry powder. That's why I wanted to be 80-20. I actually added 1,000 shares of Microsoft. So I got 4,000 shares total. I have $940,000 worth of Microsoft in this portfolio. This portfolio right here is $1.5 million in market value. And the Qs are selling it. Well, $700 in the Qs in about a half an hour isn't too bad, and my long SPX calls are going to start getting airborne here. But here's what I'm telling you. I'm not kidding. I'm holding my phone right now, February 15th of next year. Make it a recurring calendar reminder that it will be a February shit show. That happens, folks. It's profit taking. February sucks to begin with. Shortest month. It's usually freezing all over the place, except down here in Florida. There ain't no football. Not that I watch the NFL anymore, but it's one of the most volatile months of the year. And I failed. I did not listen to me because I thought for some reason, well, I half failed because half of me was like, we might still have a February shit show. One of my members of our investment club was like, a week ago, he's like, dude, where's that February shit show you talked about? I'm like, hey, man, February ain't over. And then, bam. So, lesson learned as I fall on my sword is listen to me, or use the lessons learned, right? We have to be present. Namaste. Today ain't, February 26th from last year, or all the other February 26th, but at least Take those lessons learned from the past. I will never not be ready again for another February. I usually am. Last February, March, we made millionaires here at Top Gun Options as the market imploded. But this wasn't that big one. Okay, it's just, it simply isn't it. All right, let's do a quick strategic brief. Here's the press secretary, Jen Psaki. Also, what is the legal authority for strikes? Assad is a brutal dictator, but Syria is a sovereign country. She said this? Oh, no, not today after Joe Biden bombed Syria. This is back in 2017 when Donald Trump did. This is your daily dose of Democrat hypocrisy. I can't stand hypocrisy. I can't stand if or when Republicans do it or Democrats, but I'm going to point it out. I pointed out when Republicans do it. That's why I don't want to be a hypocrite and fell on my sword today and said, dude, did not do February well. I mean, can't just sit here all day and talk about winners. How am I looking here? This portfolio year to date is down 38 grand. Before the tech wreck, it was up, I forget. I don't know. I think it was up about 30, whatever, 40. And got some big losers here. But again, they're not losers until you close them. So I definitely wanted to do this kind of brief today to show you that it ain't all sunshine and lollipops. But this also wasn't the big one. On the way down, I was like, I'm buying, I'm adding. I did. I bought another, what is that, $250,000 of Microsoft because this wasn't going to be the big one. The bonds, folks, getting above 1.5 or 1.5 on the 10-year or whatever it is, that's being used as the excuse. Okay? Interest rates were the excuse. The Fed was the excuse. All the market needed was an excuse to do this. Now, if you had listened to me and said, hey, I am going to go 80-20, and a bunch of our members actually did. They got into a ton of cash before this happened, and now they're walking in, picking up stuff on sale. I'm kicking myself, folks. I actually moved more money around so I could buy more at the bottom here because this is not the big one. Again, it's all about the Fed and stimulus, and all Jerome Powell did this week was soothe the market saying, we're not even worried about inflation. We're going to keep rates low. We're not even close to full employment. We haven't even started hitting on all cylinders yet. But the bond market this week was pricing in like we're reopened and everything's fantastic, which I knew wasn't going to last. Let's get back to the ridiculousness of airstrikes. So America's back, baby. Third successive president to bomb Syria, maybe 22 people killed. So again, I don't agree with this. I agree with this. I told you the other day that, Iranian-backed forces shelling U.S. troops deserve to be turned into hair, teeth, and eyeballs. But they should have done that before the Secretary of State or the State Department came out and said, we're not going to lash out at these rocket attacks. We're outraged. Well, the next day we lashed out. This is the gang who can't shoot straight. We're just going to take a bunch of rocket attacks, but we're not going to lash out. And then we lash out. Good, consistent foreign policy. I don't believe in this stuff anymore, folks. I am not a Liz Cheney hawk. Get out. Folks, we can't even police our own borders. What are we doing in Syria, Afghanistan? Here's what we do. We start flying drones over their country 24/7. You peek your head out of a cave and you want to go kill Americans, we're going to turn you into hair, teeth, and eyeballs. Period. What are we doing over there? I have a son who wants to go in the Marine Corps and another son who wants to go in the Navy. You think I want them to die in some foreign country where they've been killing each other for thousands of years? Knock yourself out. Why don't we take care of the scores of businesses, small businesses that are closed right now? Why don't you, instead of sending one of those T-Lamps or Tomahawks or whatever we dropped, how about you take that $1 million and give it to a small business who you destroyed? This is insane. Stop this stuff. Stop the endless wars. I mean, this is just absolute insanity. Well, and in more Democrat hypocrisy, let's take a look at David French, right? He's a writer for Time or something. So David French, 2018, if Trump strikes Syria without congressional approval, his Syrian policy will be both imprudent and unconstitutional. Next, and to unconstitutionally launch an imprudent airstrike, check. Declared his intent to withdraw from Syria and empower Iran, Russia, and Assad, check. Heck of a policy, POTUS. Unconstitutional and imprudent. Trump's Syria policy is a dangerous mess. Let's be present, David French. Good. Targeting our troops should carry a consequence. What a disgrace. David French. And, senior editor, the Dispatch, columnist at Time. He looks like he'd have this type of hypocrisy, right? Right? I can't stand hypocrisy. And of course, instead of being like a a, like, you know what, you did call me out on this. I love when these people get busted with their hypocrisy. They actually double down on it instead of like, you know what, I was wrong to do that. That's where I learned to respect people in my life. When they're busted, admit it. It's a little late at that point, but the disgustingness of people who get busted and go, well, no. And this guy, I read all his responses to this, and people just rolled in on him. Incredible how they always double down on the hypocrisy instead of just admitting they only want to see bombs drop when their guy does it. I already told you this Secretary of Defense I have a massive problem with, man. This guy came after he made 4-star general. He left the military, went to a hedge fund, and his hedge fund that he left to go back to the Department of Defense as the Secretary of Defense is massively invested in every defense company. Isn't that great? Isn't that fantastic? Here come the Democrats getting us into more wars. Not with my kids, man. So we're kind of hemming and hawing here, but take a look at this. I mean, we had a drill bit the other day down to the 50-day. We went through it today with some airspeed and right back up. This is bullish. This doesn't look pretty, folks, but I got to be honest with you. This was not panic selling. Here's the Wall Street rebellion that got squashed. We bounced off the 50 with some serious airspeed. Oh, my God, interest rates are going up? No. Inflation's a problem? No. And the Fed just soothed this all week. But treasuries are going up. Oh, my God, we're all going to die. No. We are going to get a massive bounce in March like this one. How do I know? I know because I put a ton of money. I bought how much worth of? I bought the Qs, the NASDAQ Qs. I'm risking about 15 grand right there that the Qs are going to have a rip your face off rally, and I'm risking with these calls on the S&P 500 21 grand. What's that? 30, so almost $40,000. I am risking that this market is going to recover. This is an absolute buying opportunity. Okay, so how many times, if you Google the words tech wreck, you're actually going to see it going back to like 2000 and I don't know 10. There's always tech wrecks, folks. Not one of them hasn't been a buying opportunity. You sit here and watch the halftime show on CNBC, Judge Wapner. Every one of those clips from like 2016, 17, when there's been a tech wreck, he's frothing at the mouth about how all these traders are idiots and tech's getting destroyed and what's going to happen. All of them sit there and like, the tech names are on sale. I'm buying more of them. The only time the tech wreck didn't stop was when? It wasn't a tech wreck. It was a COVID crash last year. I'm writing a book about it, right? So this was an absolute buying opportunity. I'm buying it. This is what I've told my members in our self-directed investment squadrons is we need the weekend. The weekend needs, first of all, a break to kind of take a deep breath from this week, but also to really digest what Jerome Powell said this week. Absolute insanity. Jerome Powell's got to be sitting at the Fed going, not that, again, legally he doesn't care about the stock market, but come on, man. Don't play babe in the woods with me, man. The dude knows what's going on in the stock market. The Fed's constitutional mandate is what? Full employment and inflation. Employment sucks. Inflation is not a problem. And they're going to sit here and buy with both hands to add liquidity to the market as needed. What is bearish about that? Absolutely nothing. This was profit taking, especially in some of those tech names that had a rip your face off rally. Okay? Again, but one of the reasons I'm doing this video today, and here's another reason you didn't know or you knew that this wasn't just a tech wreck and it was profit taking. Because if rates are going up, financials should be doing what? Having a rip your face off rally. This week I bought, where is it down here? I bought 1,000 shares of JP Morgan, about $150,000 worth of JP Morgan. I sold some upside calls against it. What happened this week? JP Morgan started going up with the whole, hey, interest rates. If interest rates are going up, we're going to be able to charge, our loans, our auto. Look at this. Look at that rip your face off rally as interest rates went up. And then in the past 2 days, it's been like, holy crap. Well, if interest rates or treasuries and all that stuff were actually the canary in the coal mine for a big crash, these guys should have been kept going up. They didn't. This was an overall, yesterday's a shit show, today a little bit of follow through. Okay? If it was all about rates going up, JP Morgan should have kept going up. Now, this might be a little bit of profit taking. I get it. But folks, this isn't that the financials should have kept on rallying, and they didn't. So, and the Russell, historic gains in small stocks highlight investor exuberance. So I'm going to call it porridge. This week is kind of porridge, especially with some of the macroeconomic data that we got today. I haven't looked at this stuff in a while. Went over and had to go to Quest to give some blood today, make sure everything's good. But I was sitting there looking on my phone, PCE, some inflation stuff, trade, personal income. This is good and bad. Look, personal income went up, but personal spending went down. So here's the good. People are making more money. We're getting out of this. Here's the bad. People aren't spending it. They're actually saving it, which in a way is good. Now, Jerome Powell doesn't like saying that. He wants you to go out and spend it, but you run your own house. But here's the deal. That's a lot of pent-up demand. If people are making more and they're sticking it in their Folgers can in the yard, they're going to open that Folgers can someday and off to the races, to the moon, right? So very, very interesting week. Again, I wanted to shoot this quick video to say I failed. I needed to listen. I have failed. I'm like, I think we might have a February shit show, but this time it might be different. And I was wrong. Absolutely wrong in that. I could have printed money as this market imploded. Instead, I got a nice week of what? Selling upside calls against my long positions. Microsoft is still going. Holy crap. So bringing in some nice income this week. If everything finishes where it should today, my short calls, that upside calls that I sold against long stock, should bring in $33,358 in 1 week. Just in short call income. Let's do that. 358 times 52 trading weeks. That's 1.7 million bucks potentially. That's not even including the underlying gain in the stock. So what a great these type of weeks, folks, teach you a lot of stuff. The Qs are still running a little bit. Again, I'm kicking myself because I didn't have dry powder. I'm going to have dry powder next February. I can guarantee that. And just here's a good lesson learned for you. Every tech wreck has been a buying opportunity. The tech wreck that won't be a buying opportunity is the overall market wreck. It won't be tech wrecks are buyable, folks. When people are hammering tech, it's going somewhere else. When the hammer is over, they flood back into where do you want to be? I mean, take a look at the Amazon investors page, the press release, and read all of this from February 2nd about their earnings from the fourth quarter. I've never seen anything like this. This literally is the Death Star taking over the world. So what type of name do you want to be in first of all, in any market, but also in a volatile market or a market that's going down? How about one that prints money? Let's kind of use our brains. Okay, I got to go. Went a little bit long, but just wanted to talk about how I should have been better prepared for this February pullback. The market used rates going up or the bond market as kind of an excuse to take profits. Now it's over with. I'm buying this with both hands. I just showed you about $35,000, $40,000 worth of longs in tech and the S&P 500. I think by this time next month, we're up way above 3950 on our way to 4,000. Okay, good stuff. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I am grateful for the good, but also sometimes I'm more grateful for the bad. I got a ton of notes on my desk from this week, and I put them kind of in my trade journal, or I log them in my phone, so I get a calendar reminder next year that says, hey, dipshit, you remember what happened last year? Be present, but being present this year kind of kicked me in the teeth, okay? All right, I got to go. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend. Happy hunting, and make sure you hedge, and God bless. Namaste.